What up, people? Welcome to the Doing Everything Different podcast. I'm your host, Devin Lars. And today I wanted to talk about something that our COO and I were having a conversation, Sheena. And we were just kind of reflecting on how crazy life is, right? There's been a lot of different things that have happened in our business, I would say fairly recently, that was just kind of, we were trying to figure out why it happened, right? Like, okay, why did it take us on this journey and on this path, and trying to figure out, okay, some of the things that we, maybe perceived as a bad ended up putting us in a better position that we couldn't even have planned on. And I think that it was just such a really good conversation, because she shared this parable with me that I want to read and I want to share, because I had never heard it before. It's a simple concept, but it was so powerful and it just hit me differently. I don't know why. The conversation, the timing right now of just the world of where we're at, I don't know why it resonated so much, but it was something that was very powerful. And I thought that, I was like, as soon as she shared it with me, I was like, okay, I gotta look this up to get the context of it, or the content of it. And I want to be able to share it on the podcast, because I really feel like it's gonna help some people in terms of just letting go and being okay with life and how things go, and letting things play all the way out. Because I think that sometimes we judge where we are in the middle of the story and we haven't let it play out all the way. So I'm gonna read it. I have it on my phone. And it goes like this. There once was a man who lived on a farm with his son and his horse. One day, the barn door was left open and the horse ran away. When the nearby villagers heard about it, they ran to the farm to tell the farmer how sorry they felt for him. "How will you work your farm without your horse?" they asked. The farmer simply shrugged and said, "Good, bad, who's to say?" A few days later, the farmer's horse returned, and following it were two more horses. The villagers were so excited for the farmer's luck, they ran to his farm and told him so. The farmer simply shrugged and said, "Good, bad, who's to say?" The new horses were not broken in, so the farmer's son worked hard to break them in so they could be used on the farm. While doing so, one of the new horses threw him off and he broke his leg. The villagers again ran to the farm and expressed their deep sadness about the son's broken leg. "Now your son can't help you on your farm," they said with their heads hung low. The farmer simply shrugged and said, "Good, bad, who's to say?" As the son was healing from his broken leg, a war broke out in the countryside. All the young men were sent to fight. Many died or were seriously injured. However, since the farmer's son had broken his leg, he was not able to go. The villagers again came to the farm to say to the farmer how very lucky he was that his son didn't have to go fight in the war. Once again, the farmer shrugged his shoulders and stated, "Good, bad, who's to say?" This parable teaches us to simply be a witness of life's events. The idea being that peace is found by observing the events of life and removing all judgment, by sitting back and witnessing without trying to attach labels and avoiding life's dramas. And I really found that so powerful, because we really don't know where life is going to take us on these journeys, right? Sometimes, from my experience, my biggest successes and accomplishments came on the back of what it would look like as a failure. And I think we get so caught up, like I said earlier, in judging it before the whole process has kind of been laid out and kind of has ran its course. And so I think that it was just just such a powerful reminder for me that you really just can't control things and you don't know why things are happening. And I think that if you are able to just let go and, just like I said, just observe what's happening and just say, hey, who knows if it's going to be good or if it's going to be bad. And I think a little slight adjustment to that, for me, I feel like a lot of things always end up working out in your benefit. If you're doing the right thing and if you're on the right path and like you are like legitimately trying, things always end up working out. So even if they might look bad, at the end of the day, they're going to be good. So, it says good, bad, who's to say? But it really is perspective, right? It's like really how you look at things when things happen to you. That old saying, you can't cry over spilled milk, and I think that I've gotten to a point now where things, of course, still frustrate me, right? It's just life. That's how it's just always going to be that way. But I think I've gotten better in terms of the time that I let the thing frustrate me. and the time that I'm able to just let it go and just accept it for what it is and try to find a solution, right? That kind of goes back to, there's always a solution, right? That's like one of my biggest principles and philosophies in life. You just have to find it. And I think things will always go wrong. Things are always going to come up, things are always going to go wrong, but to be able to let life run its course and to be able to understand that there is a source, a power, a God, whatever it is that you believe in, that there's something stronger working for you. And I believe that to be true. And I just think that parable was just so deep on so many levels. Because like I said, just looking back, there's been just a series of things that have happened where it was like, why did that take us there? That's kind of how this whole thing started. Me and Sheena were talking about how like there was a shift in the business where it was just a few months ago or several months ago, it was just like, okay, where are we going direction wise? And it just felt like things weren't aligning and it was very confusing. And we both felt it. And it was like, okay, cool. We're navigating, we're moving through these things and we're going, but like it was just, there was some resistance there and we didn't know what it was. And we didn't know how to kind of get rid of it. And so we were trying to like not force it and just kind of flow with it of like, okay, cool. Where are we moving and shifting to? And so we had to understand, how do we adjust and adapt in our business? And how do we kind of like look at new opportunities and maybe we want to explore new opportunities. And so we just allowed it to kind of flow and not to force or fight against those feelings that we had of just like, it's not working. Something is stuck. And then it was so crazy because then all of a sudden it just clicked and everything just kind of came together. And we were really trying to figure out what was that detour? What was that kind of like challenge that we went through? Why was that? Why did that happen? And we don't know. I don't know what it was, but as soon as we kind of went through it, we got back on the same page and we were like, okay, cool. Let's go in this direction. We both felt like this direction was the right way to go. And as soon as we went in that direction, everything kind of clicked and came together. It was so crazy. We reached out to a client that I hadn't talked to in about a year, 2 years, that was at a whole nother company now. And I was just like, hey, just would love to catch up. And she was like, that's crazy because I was just talking about you today in one of the meetings. Can we set up a call for Monday? And then that call led into some incredible opportunities right now that we're doing and we're executing. And it's just been like, it's been so crazy, and you just don't know when your time and your moment is going to come, and you don't know. I truly believe that we have multiple times and moments and opportunities. I think that people always say you get like one shot. I feel like that's not true. I feel like you do get multiple shots as long as you're putting in the work and you're trying your best to move forward. They may be a long far apart, right? It may be a 10-year difference. Like the opportunity might come now and it's not going to come again for another 10, 12, 5, 6, 8 years, whatever it is. But opportunities always keep coming around. And I think the older that I'm getting, the more I'm realizing to how to identify those opportunities and how do you be able to maximize those opportunities and understand what opportunities actually are. I did a video a long time ago where it was just talking about, have you ever a family member or, you get a new car or whatever, and you've never seen that car on the road before, but as soon as, your family member, your person gets it, now you see that car everywhere. That car was always there. It's just that wasn't on your radar and it wasn't on your attention. And so I think that like I correlated opportunities with like that car. A lot of these opportunities that are in front of us are, in the form of building relationships, adding value, being able to contribute to different things, being able to just show up to the event, to show up to the networking event, to send that DM, to send that cold email, to pick up the phone, to text that old person that you haven't talked to. Those are where opportunities come from. They're not dressed up that says opportunity is here, and so as you start to kind of maneuver and start to understand what those opportunities start to represent, then you start to understand how to maximize and utilize all of those things and build relationships and, showing up to the events or whatever the case it is for you. And so I just think it's such a powerful, it's just a powerful concept. And I had to share that because it's something that I've been sitting with for a while. Another thing on top of that, this was something else. Again, these are just things that inspire me that hopefully you guys can take something from it. But I was watching Will Smith had an interview with Speedy, and I think it's on Complex. Yeah, it's Complex. And it was released like maybe a week ago, depending on when you listen to this. But if you search on YouTube and go Will Smith Speedy interview, you'll see it. And it's probably like 45 minutes. But it was such a good interview. And Will Smith is a very deep person in terms of like how he thinks and how he looks at life and philosophies and stuff like that. And he was talking about happiness. And he was talking about he's at a stage right now in his life where he realizes that no relationship, no money, no material thing, no kids, nothing can make you happy, that it's your job to make yourself happy and bring happy to wherever it is that you're going, whether it's your job, whether it's your relationship. You can't look to get happy from the situation, but you need to bring happy to it. And I thought that was just such a crazy concept too, right? About like you create your own reality. And you create your own perspective of how you look at things. And it's the choice is up to you of how you experience things and how you show up and what type of energy you bring to it. And so I highly recommend listening to that full interview. It was a really good interview. Again, just go Will Smith, Speedy, Complex interview, whatever on YouTube, and you'll be able to see it. But yeah, very excited about continuing the process of everything. Our agency is just like really in a special place right now where things are just kind of clicking and coming together. I'm going on my first international work trip to Cannes, France, for Cannes Lion Film Festival or Cannes Lion Festival in June. So I'm super excited about that. Things are just kind of like shaping and coming together. And again, it goes back to that story of just like, you never know why certain situations are going to happen, and you never know when it's going to be your time and your moment. And you just have to trust the process, and you have to show up every day, and you have to just trust and believe that it's going to all come together and it's going to work out for your benefit, especially if you're putting in the work and taking the actions that you need to take. So I hope this was helpful. I'm excited to hear some feedback. If you all have any other parables or any other stories like that, please share it. Please send me a DM, comment it on whatever. It was weird that I hadn't heard that one before. I feel like it's so simple. It seems like an ancient parable, but it was very powerful. So would love to hear if you all have any other recommendations. So hope you all are doing well. Until the next episode, I'll see y'all in a minute. Peace.